It was supposed to be a peaceful night under the stars, just me and my friends camping deep in the forest. We found the perfect spot, a small clearing surrounded by towering trees, far from any trails or campsites. It felt untouched, like we were the only people who had ever been there. We set up our tents, built a fire, and laughed late into the night. Around 1 a.m., I stepped away from the fire to grab my jacket from the tent. That's when I noticed it, a small pile of rocks, perfectly stacked, just outside the edge of our clearing. I called out to the group, "Hey, did one of you do this?" They all looked at me, confused. "Do what?" I pointed to the stack, but when we shined our flashlights on it, there were two piles now. "That's weird," one of my friends muttered. We were all on edge, but we tried to brush it off. "Probably animals messing around," someone joked, though none of us really believed it. We went back to the fire, but the mood had shifted. Then, maybe 15 minutes later, we heard it. Faint footsteps, circling just beyond the firelight. "Who's out there?" one of my friends shouted. No answer. The footsteps stopped, and for a moment, it was dead silent. Then came the sound of laughter, soft, childlike, but wrong. It seemed to echo from everywhere at once. We panicked, grabbing flashlights and shining them wildly into the trees. That's when we saw them. Dozens of stacked rock piles surrounded our campsite now. They hadn't been there before. We would have noticed. Then, without warning, the fire went out. We were plunged into darkness, and the laughter grew louder, coming from all directions. "Run!" someone yelled. We didn't need to be told twice. We tore through the woods, tripping over roots and branches, until we finally reached the car. The next day, we told the ranger what had happened. He just stared at us, his face pale. "That area's off limits," he said quietly. "It's marked on every map. No one's supposed to camp there." When we checked the map later, the clearing wasn't listed. It didn't exist.